And who are we?
Trinity.
Yeah.
3 of us. There's a Trinity of Trinity hats. There's a thing.
Oh,
the only team in
okay.
The only team in Dallas that still has an opportunity to win a championship.
That's not true.
The only professional team in. I mean, I don't think the Rangers have a chance.
FCD could still technically do it.
Okay, fine. We're not counting them out yet. Anyway, I'm Dennis, here with Marcus, here with Hubert. We are the Dallas Beer Guardians. We are Guardian Leadership. We are here to talk what we think we know and most of what we don't know, right? But we're going to talk. We're going to talk a couple of FCD draws since the last time we met. I know you guys had an episode without me, which felt very, very disappointing. I was very emotionally disturbed that I was not available, and you guys went ahead and recorded without me. But
yeah, it was disappointed on our end too. It was not great.
I listened to it, but not a great show. No, I'm kidding. You guys did great.
Yeah, we need our engineer for sure.
Yeah, we need someone to keep us from rambling. Is what we really need.
We got a couple FCD draws to talk about. We've got a Trinity win. We've got a golden boot. We're going to take a beer break. We're going to talk playoff races. We're going to take our trip around the grounds, and then we're going to close out with a toast. I think we're ready to jump right in. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So let's start Wednesday night. The tail end of a very, very, very long road trip for FCD. The boys in red head to Cincinnati. Lucho Acosta making his return to what's the name of that stadium out there? Somebody help me out.
TQL? Is that TQL?
TQL. That is TQL. Lucho makes his return out there, and we end up with a 3-3 draw with some exciting late drama. I'll be honest with you. I was not expecting a 3-3 draw out of this one, but that's what we ended up with. What did you guys see?
Yeah, I didn't expect 3-3, but I still, even though the team lost some of its road luster, I still think they had that fight in them. So, I'm not surprised that it ended up this way per se. But I don't know. For some reason, they like playing that spoiler role. I don't know. So I'm not totally surprised by it, but I didn't expect our team to put up 3 the way the chemistry had been looking up front the last few weeks.
You can't come from behind if you don't go down early.
Guess not.
That's what she said. Anyways,
hey, it's too early for that. We're not at the 15-minute mark yet. Come on.
You didn't say anything raunchy.
I didn't say exactly. I just said she said that. I don't know which context she did.
It's in quotes.
Yeah, there you go. To be honest, I wasn't happy about this game. Lucho had his feelings hurt and played like it the whole game. So, as a professional, you got to remember that these people don't care about you, right? This is why I always say fans and players need to have a healthy embrace with each other. He really was hurt. He felt like he brought that team. I think before he got there, it was newly promoted from USL and didn't have any history, wasn't winning, and he brought elite status there. And the fact that he felt like the fans should have been more grateful is both true and not necessary to say in the reality. But that being said, I'm glad Moose is back on the scoring sheet. We needed that coming off a ankle injury.
Yeah.
We'll speak about injuries later.
I don't want to.
Really disappointed.
Yeah,
one.
I'm not thrilled with injuries.
But yeah, it was a good fight back. We're gonna have to say something nice about Ibi here. I guess we have to be nice to him.
We have to say something nice about Ramiro, Delgado, and Ibi in the same play.
Just like it was drawn up. That's how they practice it in the schoolyard, right?
Yeah, right from the playground.
I heard these DBG guys talking trash. Let's go.
Yeah, facts.
Marcus, that goal was specifically for me and you.
I mean, here's the thing. Ibi's high USL championship level player. He's playing way above his weight class, which that's
the worst thing is he's such a cool dude.
Right.
That is the worst part, right? Where you know a player is a nice person, and yet you're like, time for you to do something else. So,
right.
Yeah, but no, all things being equal, it shows the positive and negative of the team, right? So positive is that we'll fight back whenever, wherever. Negative is that we have to. So it's one of those things, right? We shouldn't. A couple of those goals should not have happened. That penalty, I'm iffy on whether or not it's a penalty.
Yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the penalty for sure. I haven't got the highlights on right now, and I'm seeing it right now, and I guess I'm more concerned about what led to the penalty than the actual call itself. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, Ibby's going to get beat every single time.
I
He doesn't
suppose
have
you're right.
speed. Although in this Philly game, he did outpace a guy, and I was like, well, that's not bad. That's not bad work. Now, granted, he tried to do the whole "I'm going to fall," like I'm going to go in front of you and then
Yeah.
fall over the ball thing, and I hate that personally because the ref might not always see it your way. But the
You
penalty
gotta
wasn't
get a clear shove in the back first to be able to
yeah,
to lay that out. You got to sell that, but you got to get the shove before you can sell.
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, it's one of them things where like again, it showed the fight. Musa saw that he had to do a lot more than normal. He was still coming back way too much for me. But coming right out of the half, he had 2 opportunities. The first one, I think he should have put away. If he'd have hit with his right instead of his left foot, maybe he had a better chance. But all things being equal, I'm happy about it, right? A road point, right? I always say, like, if a
road point
good,
against one of the top teams in the East.
yeah, if a road point is good in some occasions, it's good all the time. Especially,
I guess
when
the way I look at it on this one is if I'm looking back at this later and just seeing the scoreline on paper and that we got a point in Cincy, I'm probably happy.
Yeah, it was at the tail end of a extremely difficult road trip, right? This is a road trip that started out with a trip to New York or a trip to Newark, at least, a trip to Jersey for the you're not getting me this time. Still mad about that. But this is a trip to New Jersey to take on the New York, New Jersey Red Bulls, and flying from Jersey immediately out to Seattle. They did not come home for that one, right? They got on a plane, went directly to Seattle, which is, that had to be a very quiet plane ride. That's a, 5.5, 6 hour flight up to Seattle after a very, very tough penalty loss. It's probably a very quiet flight, right? They get there, they get, lose in Seattle in, an annoying fashion.
Oh my God.
86 minutes. I know you guys talked about this in depth.
I forgot about that. I had forgotten, Dennis.
Again, that was Saturday to fly back to Dallas for a day and a half to get back out, get on a plane and get out to Cincinnati in a couple days. Like this was a lot of turn and burn happen here. Fun stat. The team in the Premier League that traveled the most this season was Newcastle United. They went to 19 away games and covered 4,722 miles. In this 3-game road trip span alone, Dallas covered 8,339 miles. So they nearly doubled what the top team in the Premier League. So when people talk about American football and they talk about why aren't there away fans and why don't the away fans show up to all the games and why is it so tough to play on the road in this league? This is why. Nearly 8,300 miles in 3 games in 8 days.
I do have an axe to grind here. So
grind away.
I hate East-West in sports, but I get why we have it in the United States, and it's for that reason. And Major League Soccer in particular, like that's the reason you're always going to hear is it's so they don't travel as much. Then why the hell did you have Dallas play 2 Eastern Conference teams whenever you had that congested?
Well, one of them was a cup game. We didn't know who we were going to play.
Okay, maybe that's it. But either way, like this has happened before. Teams flying across country like that, and I don't know.
What this league really needs is divisions. I'm sorry. I know that's a very American thing to say, but this team absolutely needs 3 divisions. We need and maybe even 4, right? Maybe it's Northeast, Southeast, and the 4 division winners. You can even have your division playoff final, and then the 4 winners should meet in a semi and a final. Keep it regional, keep it small. I think it's the best way to go. And yeah, you could play other conference teams and you could play interconference and inter division, but go ahead, Marcus. He pulled up the mic for this one. He has a very strong opinion.
I'm probably on Marcus's side here. I'll tell you.
Please, pretty please, do not NFL my soccer. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. I just
also caveat.
I don't understand how you can call somebody a regular season champion when they don't even play every single team. And on top of everything, like the last few years, we've been playing random teams in our division 3 times. Last year and the year before we played Austin 3 times, but Houston twice as an example. And then this year we played Houston twice already before halfway through the season.
Yeah, well, part of that we were uneven last year. We're even this year, so it should be. I guess it should be home and away, and then 2 or 3 Eastern Conference. That's basically how they're doing it.
Yeah, I just I'm also tired of a thing that's gotten Dallas a couple of times, and this is probably just because Austin benefited from it and we got hurt by it. But a couple of years ago, if you took away the Eastern Conference games between our teams, Austin dropped from like second to out of playoffs, and we leapfrogged up to like third.
Well, that's why you have divisions. You institute divisions. You only play you play the same teams in your division. And say what you want about the NFL, but the NFL's schedule parity that they're just moving away from now with the additional week over the past couple of years. I think the NFL schedule parity over the last decade or so was incredible. Right, everybody in your division plays the same. You play your two division games, and then again, it's not a perfect one-to-one relationship, but you've got your two division games. You play the same in conference division, you play the same out of conference division, and then you play everybody that finished at the same place as you in their division last year. So all the third place teams play each other, right? I think
I may be more happy with it if MLS puts more thought into it, but the fact that you end up with like, I don't know, FCDallas is going to play Inter Miami this year. Granted, we played a depleted one and it worked out. And then like, I don't know, Houston will end up playing Montreal or something. How is that parity?
and it's only going to get worse as they add teams,
Absolutely.
right? So you've got San Diego this year. I'm sure in the next couple of years we're going to see 3-4 more teams, 5 more teams. Where do we go from there, right? You cannot just keep adding schedules without having some sort of load balancing here as far as travel, right? We are not we are not the British Isles here. We are not even a country as big as France, right? France fits in Texas, right? There's not a single European nation that does not fit inside of Texas. So
here's my rebuttal, and this is not just to Dennis. Why do we always just use England, right? Brazil is massive. Brazil is about 2/3 the size of the U.S.
Yeah, but most of the teams are on this. Most of civilization is on one half of the country.
There are a couple of clubs that are literally in the middle of nowhere.
Sure, but most of the clubs
Brazil
are on one side
also has a regional setup, though, don't they?
Yes,
only for lower division. The first division is everybody put home and away.
Yeah,
right.
Either way, they are still way more concentrated in an area than we are.
Yeah, like Russia is also massive. Now you're right. St. Petersburg and Moscow are basically
also concentrated
right?
in a small area.
No, but they do have cities on the opposite side of Russia that are actually closer to like Korea than they are to Moscow. So yeah, it was like I don't know why we always use like the islands.
Way
like,
less of them.
Oh, yeah, we can't be like them because they're an island. Well, no one's saying that. Like even Japan, for instance, the top of Japan to the bottom of Japan.
Some snobs are saying that, but
is 8 hours. Right? There are better options than just picking the Chinese league, for instance. Massive league, 1 billion people, thousands of miles separating them. But yeah, so that's my only caveat is like we don't have to always use England because it fits our argument. There are other large countries in the world, just so we're clear about that. Like lots and lots of large countries.
But are
my
there
other
large
issue here is
do the game
these owners
well?
can afford that travel. So
yeah, it's not even about affording the travel though. It's the wear and tear on bodies.
I guess you're right.
It's the time it takes, and frankly, I would love to be able to have more away days. Right? I wish we had more regional teams. I wish we had more local teams. I would love to be able to go to San Antonio and even El Paso, which is not around the corner. Oklahoma City. I would love to be able to do some closer away days that where it doesn't have to be an entire weekend away to go to support the club.
Yeah, I think the post-game radio show kind of talked about this a little bit too, or pre-game. I don't remember which one it was. They were talking about this travel and everything, and saying you got to think about what this did for a team like Dallas beyond the regular wear and tear of travel. It was they didn't have one single full practice.
Yep.
During that entire period, which is pretty crazy. That's something I hadn't really considered.
That's a lot of time on the road, and you know what? Ideally that is the greatest distance they need to cover, and that's the craziest it's going to get. And maybe they'll gel a little bit more. Sleeping away, share. I know some of these guys still bunk together and share rooms and whatnot, and a lot of that's by choice now, from what I understand from the CBA. But still, right? These guys travel together, right? They eat meals together, and they're doing it without their families around, and they're doing it without their friends around. So, ideally they'll gel, and that'll take us into make them better. Ideally, any final thoughts on 3-3 draw at Cincinnati?
I don't have anything too crazy, but I think it's wild to for a player to go back like Lucho did and expect to be embraced and loved.
I'll say I think that
it screams abusive relationship.
I think the media blew that out of proportion a little bit too. I think that those quotes were taken a little bit out of context. I think he was just surprised to see how much they were booing. But we booed Jesus when he was
certainly
here.
possible, but a player of his caliber has had media training.
That might not be true in this league.
No, MLS players had media training.
Yeah,
even a bunch of the kids do.
Yeah. No, I think that quote was taken a little bit out of context, and I think it was just surprising to him to find out that.
Well, I also think Lucho's an emotional dude, right?
Sure.
So
most guys who play this sport are, right. The good ones are emotional about it, right?
I mean, his quote was accurate, right? No, his quote is accurate. They should have been more grateful because isn't this happening with the Liverpool player right now where he's about to get traded? I think he just got traded.
Yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold. And
people are like,
yep.
Yeah, Klopp was like, yo, no. That's not how you treat a club legend. Like you would never treat Steven Gerrard this way, right? If Steven Gerrard had gone to Real Madrid and come back, they would have been cheered, they would have been honor guard. So
I guess what I would argue at this point is that era is gone.
You think so?
I think that your Gerrards, your John Terrys were the end of an era.
I mean, those were the last guys that really, and yeah, they moved on towards the end. But
like they still exist, but like that,
those guys spent their entire careers at clubs too, for the most part, right? It's a little bit different. Or they spent their prime years at those clubs, and guys move on, right? And
now that being said, Matt Hedges was playing for our rival, and we all still loved him.
Matt Hedges might be back here next week at this rate.
Yeah.
And that's a great. And so Oz missed. Oz got hurt in this game, right? Yep. Cincinnati game is where he gets hurt. So Osaze gets hurt. And Marcus, any last thoughts before we move on from this game, or while I transition over into the next one?
Do we know what the injury was called for that? I can't remember.
Leg.
What they called it.
Yeah.
Just leg.
Upper leg. Yeah.
Upper leg. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even think we did. Yeah, we found out. This week upper leg was the reason he was listed out. And he missed the game at home versus Philadelphia Union, which resulted in a 0-0 draw after Dallas gets a red card. Lalas Abubakar in the 37th minute, I believe, is the correct number I have written down somewhere here. Could absolutely be wrong about that, but 39th minute. See, I was wrong. But 39th minute on a second yellow card after he gets his first yellow card in the 31st. So Oz out, Lawless in, Lawless out.
I didn't get to watch this whole game. I've mostly just watched highlights and have listened to what other people have said. So I might be asking more questions than I will be discussing.
I watched the whole replay. Well, I believe they came out in the diamond again.
4 in the back?
Yes. Yeah. It was 4 in the back. They came out the midfield diamond. And it was like I said, I watched it. I dozed off a couple of times. I feel like everybody in the stadium dozed off a couple of times. It was not a game full of excitement at all.
I can't help but look at this result against the best team in the East, right? And
they were coming into the weekend. Yeah.
Yep.
And best away record in the league.
Yep.
And be happy with a 0-0 draw?
Especially considering there's a red card in the first half. I'm with you on that. I am not upset by this result. When you compare it to the rest of the season, I think that's where it gets a little uncomfortable and a little dicey.
The context of the home record is there.
Right. The context of the home record is very important. But
unfortunately, that means this is a great result.
Right. But this is, considering what went into the game, considering we were playing the best team in the East, considering they had the best road record going in. And again, this is considering they had a red card in the first half that took out a defensive player after their number one defensive player was on the bench injured.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a terrible result.
How many minutes were they down a man? Like 60?
No, he got the red in the 39th. So
wow.
Yeah,
that's incredible. Can I hear someone's opinion, like Marcus, who was there? I guess Dennis watched it. Were these cards worth it? What was the deal?
Well, the second one was definitely a yellow. It was a stupid yellow because it was the ball he was chasing to the corner. If he'd have gotten there early, it would have been a good slide, but he didn't get there. So it was one of them things where he could have just followed the man to the line. Like when I was playing, the coach always said the line is an extra defender, so use it.
Smart.
Yeah, it looked like it. From the replay I saw.
No, when you have two no, you're good. When you have two defenders that are over 30, that run is, it's one of those over the top running to the corner flag. So if you just let the ball run, like let's say you run towards a penalty spot instead of running towards the ball, you could have easily cut him off, right, and then allow the team to come back. But the body is the second to find out, right? Or the mind is the second to find out that the body can't do something anymore. So
right.
Yeah, he misplayed it, and it was annoying double yellow, but it was definitely a red in the hindsight.
Okay.
That being said, looking at the stats, they only had one shot on target. So when he left, it's not like we got worse.
Right. From what I understood, this was kind of a crazy defensive effort, right? Did I hear right that they went to a low block and pulled it off?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It was park the bus time.
That one shot,
that's crazy. We've been bad at that for years now, so it's kind of cool to actually get that done.
Yeah. That was Wagner's one that rang off the post, right?
Yeah.
In the 50th? Yeah, it rang off the post. Paz played it well, and it just rang off the post, right? It was just one of those things, and thankfully, I think it was Farfan on the rebound that just was able to kick it away, because that thing just sort of flailed out there for a little bit. One thing I will say, there were some very, very good shots from FC Dallas in the 9th and 11th minute. You had Delgado with an incredible shot in the 11th, Anderson Julio with a great shot too. Both of those that just went wide by.
I kept hearing across the board that Julio was a lot of people's man of the match.
Julio looked great. He had another shot late in the game, 57th minute. He had a little bit of a breakaway that he just sort of got ran down on, just trying his first touch was good, and then it got touched back to him a little bit, and we just kind of wobbled it, and the finish wasn't great, but it was right there, man. They all three of those shots, Delgado and Julio's two, were inches away from being goals.
So are we getting last year's Delgado back finally? Is that what's happening here?
Looks like he's
starting to play as well as he had been.
I think so. I think
because he was pretty solid last year at times.
I will say there was the one shot he had that was really good. He actually should have passed it off.
Okay.
It was one of those Julio's to the right of him, wide open joint, and but it was a shot on target, so we can't be too mad.
Well, the early one that missed the target was an incredible cross in from Lucho. It was exactly where it needed to be.
Just having watched little snippets that people have shown me, it looked to me like Lucho was kind of looking himself a little bit again, like he started to the last couple of weeks with the little moves that were actually coming off. Was that true?
Yeah. He's still trying to do the nutmeg a little bit one too many times for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it did seem like some of them were coming off finally a little bit more.
Yes. Again, the issue is, and I've said this on multiple of these pods, we need a third guy. And Pedrino is kind of that third guy in the triangle passing. This game, we didn't really have that. Julio is not really that guy. He's the over the top, vertical. Kayike is annoying me a little bit because he's a little selfish sometimes with not looking up to pass the ball.
Yeah.
So maybe
do you think that's selfish, or maybe he just doesn't understand it at this level yet?
No, I think he's a young kid trying to prove himself, right, in the new country.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then also when we lost Abubakar, and I thought we were going to go three in the back, they actually put Shaq more forward and put Romario as the right back. And my brain was literally...
They've done that once already this year, right?
I mean, he's listed as
the right back.
He's listed as a secondary position right back.
Now, I don't remember noticing it last time, but he was okay at right back, right?
They didn't challenge him, so I was happy about that. But when I looked up and I'm like, where's Shaq? And I'm like, wait, why is Shaq forward? That makes no sense to me. You already have a four in the back. Why rotate?
Well, yeah. Tell me how the formation shifted when we lost a man. What did they shift?
Nothing. They just kept the four in the back. They moved Shaq forward and Romero back, and that was the only adjustment they made. And that to me was weird.
So who was in the middle?
Acosta and
no, sorry, in the center backs for that. Once Lawless came out.
Oh, they moved the. Oh wait, was it Shaq as the other center back?
Yeah, I think Shaq moved to the center back, but he was playing forward. He was playing almost like a hybrid 6 center back at one point. It was weird. It was very strange positioning, but it worked.
we got a 0-0, and we'll take it.
They
What a time to be
parked the
alive.
bus. Pod had some great saves. Pod had an incredible save in the 67th. He looked good, right? Paz looked very good. He got a clean sheet, and they got a point out of made the best out of a bad situation, I think. My next question, though, is an interesting one, right? So the Seattle game, Lucho Costa doesn't play for a yellow card accumulation, right? Then we get a yellow card here for a double yellow for Abubakar, results in a red card, so he's going to miss the next game. Coach Quill missed the game in Cincinnati because it was Cincinnati game he missed, right?
Yeah.
For yellow card accumulation. Quill gets another yellow card this week. Kaique now.
I don't know if it's him. I think it was what's my guy? Our legend here?
Michelle?
There you go. Yeah.
Wasn't Michelle? Michelle's got a couple too now. He's got a couple of yellow cards too. Kaique is now going to be.
Still matter. Yeah.
Did Ramiro get a red recently too?
Ramiro got a red in the cup game.
Oh, it was the cup. Got it.
And now Kaique. So we're going to be missing Abubakar with a red card this week. He'll be suspended, and we're also going to be missing Kaique now for yellow card accumulation. Does FC Dallas have a discipline problem?
I don't know that it's a discipline in the sense of like they lack discipline. I think the discipline problem is they're being disciplined a lot. And I think it's just because the team wants to be gritty, right?
No, I think the problem is they're getting beat a lot, so they're ending up getting yellow cards that aren't like rough fouls.
I mean, that was the Nolan problem for so long, right? Yeah. It wasn't that he was making bad tackles; he was a step slower than everyone.
Yeah, we're not too studying anyone. It's usually we got beat and we're going to clip their ankle and they fall over. It's not,
we haven't had any brutal cards.
Yeah, it's no dirty play. Although, was it Delgado almost went over the ball this game? I'm like, ooh, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So no, I don't think we have a discipline. To be honest, we needed this. We needed a mean streak. What we have is
we've been talking about this for the last few years. At least me and Marcus have. I want to bash it on the field so bad. Well, it's why we love Amber Brooks at Dallas Trinity.
Yeah, what we have now is a penalty problem, right? Seattle game penalty, this game penalty. I think we have at least 3 more this season. That's an issue.
I would extend that to a set piece problem. We're giving up set pieces in really stupid spots in general, on top of the penalties.
Yeah. Although they're not scoring though. He's out now, so that's a problem. But like I think they
haven't been scoring them directly, but they've been scoring from them.
Oh, okay. I'll give you
the recycled ball.
Okay, because I think we're pretty low off direct kick.
Yeah, we've been blocking the directs, but we keep having an opportunity coming like on the recycled ball. That's happened 2 or 3 times this season now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there are a couple rebounds that.
But you're right. They're defending the set pieces better than they have before. That's for sure. We gave up so many set piece goals like that last few years, and God knows we're not doing anything with them when we get them.
And that's another conversation that needs to happen too. I think how much is it time for maybe someone else to start taking corners and free kicks besides Lucho? Is there another option?
I mean, corners, you've got Legit. We know Legit can take. We've seen Pedrinho take good ones. I don't think there's a question about corners. My main question would actually be on direct free kicks. Who would you have taken those?
Well, Pedrinho's been doing it when Lucho's not there. Yeah.
For me, that's good. I'm sure that it's the same conversation they were having on the radio show for the game as well. Was they're worried about the sensitive Lucho on that one? Do you protect him? And I don't know. I feel like sometimes we overplay that kind of stuff.
Dude, I need somebody else to take these for a minute. You haven't done great. I'm going to take him away from you for a little bit. If he can't hear that, then he doesn't belong in this game.
Yeah, I think you. I'd be surprised if a coach like Quill wasn't willing to be that guy too.
Sure. Like it's not about, it's like Josh Hart moving to the bench, right? Like it's what's best for the team, and you need to understand that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like
one Knicks reference I'm going to get in this week. Just one.
I'd like to see it done.
Yeah.
Or make him the second man on the kick. Like,
sure,
make him the
man. Do the double overlap. Dude, have some fun with it.
I think once Leggett comes back, I think he was the corner guy, so I foresee just swapping him back in. He was on the bench. He warmed up. I thought they were going to put him in for a bit, but I guess we went down a man, so that's probably not the best time to put a guy back in from injury. So,
well,
with
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, with us being short a man, he might end up starting because we have a center back. The other kid we got from Portugal is a unit. He's bigger than I thought when I saw him.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah. He's a tall. He's a sizable individual for.
I mean, outside of Moose,
that's a large man, Dwayne.
Yeah,
outside of Moose, he's probably the tallest man on the field, though, right?
Yeah, he's 19 or 20. He's a kid. So the fact that so he's gonna get a start at this point. So we know he's starting.
He has to,
because one guy's out and the other has a red card. So unless we're doing 3 in the back, which would be a terrible idea, and because we have a bye week, we've
got almost a couple of weeks before the next game.
We've got almost 2 full weeks. Next game is not until the 14th.
That's a good amount of time to integrate them.
Right. That's hopefully 2 weeks of practices and 2 weeks of getting bodies healthy again. And we'll be missing 2 regular starters here in Kayike, and I guess you can count on Boubacar as a regular starter.
Let's talk
at least in the first 15.
Let's break down all the injuries we all of a sudden have again now that the report was almost empty, and then boom.
Well, Pax had a knee bruise. I'm assuming that is just going to be just an abundance of caution with a guy like that.
Well, let's talk about knee bruises real quick. Knee bruises are a little tricky depending on severity. You can have a severe enough knee bruise that you're out a few weeks. They can also be light enough that it's just a week or so. So, we have no details on that. Maybe they're just being cautious, but it's frustrating not knowing. And
Farfan seems to be at full strength.
Yeah, which is good. It's good to have him back. I guess that little that injury he was dealing with was definitely making him hurt while playing. So that's good. Hopefully that keeps up. I still would like to see Nolan competing for that spot. I think it's better that way. I hope they haven't just shelved Nolan.
Right. Well, I want to get to anything else on Philadelphia match before we move on, because I do want to take a little look ahead and no, anything?
I got nothing.
No, we're good. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, like I said, looking forward to at SKC on the 14th. With this formation, what are the odds that Quill comes back to a 3 in the back, but instead of 3 center backs, we have you run with Farfan, Shaq, and Ibby in the middle?
No
love for that at all.
Here's the thing: we need speed, and we've been proving that multiple times. That's why I'm saying it's a good thing we have 2 weeks, because that kid's going to start, unless he's proven in practice that he's just not up to the standard, which I don't foresee.
Okay.
From all the scouting reports I've seen, we need speed in the back. Farfan is fast enough. The other 2 guys are not.
Okay.
Right? And if you have Shaq's going to want to go forward.
Yeah, Shaq's more of an attacker.
Yeah, so unless we're going to have the 6 fall back into Shaq's spot to cover,
well,
we can't leave Ibby on an island.
Hear me out on this.
That's been proven. Yeah.
You got Kayike out. What if we roll Nolan up into the 6th spot? Norris played 6 at North Texas for a while. He was a 6 before Farfan got hurt. He was supposed to be the 6. We run Nolan out at the 6 and let him sort of be that get back guy when you want Shaq to get forward. He comes back. Or you've got Ramiro as well, which I don't think is the best option, but you've got Ramiro, who is a natural right back or listed as a secondary position at least. Let him slot back into that as well.
I don't see why you overcomplicate things against Kansas City, who isn't that good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know. I'd rather run my normal, play the game I want to play, because I think you can do that against Kansas City, even in Kansas City. I think when you're talking about a 6, we hardly ever roll out just a straight 6 anyways. We're usually rolling a couple of people there at this point, right? So if you got Leggett back, I'd just as soon run Leggett with somebody else. For me,
this would be running into the same issue Poppy had, where we're playing a lot of guys out. Like Holland's Head is not a left back. He ended up having a hell of a career back there.
What a guy!
He was supposed to be playing. We at FC because we never got the pieces we need. Like we would never spend money on a 9.
Mm-hmm.
So then we just rotated guys up there. We would never really spend money on a center back. We would just draft them out of college. We got lucky with Matt Hedges. What was the other guy? He retired early right after he had concussion issues. I can't remember
Zach Lloyd or George John.
Zach Lloyd. There we go.
You could
Great
say
guy.
both of
Great
those.
guy.
Honestly, you could say both of those guys.
Deep pulls
Yeah,
there. My goodness.
Yeah. They both those guys we drafted. He was. I mean, Zach.
Oh, by the way,
both
shout
guys-
out. Zach Lloyd is coaching for the youth, for FCDallas youth now, I believe. Anyway, keep going.
Oh, dope. See, that's why I love FCDallas. They'll always take care of their legends. But yeah, like that's a guy with. Well, for now.
I'm sorry, I'm
when he
derailing.
retires-
I'm
when,
derailing.
When he retires, we'll get back to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so that's what I'm saying. We always play people out of position, and that was always an issue. Last year was the first time I felt like we had everyone with a position, and they were playing the position they were supposed to.
Right.
I don't want to go back to moving guys around.
Yeah, we have done it and it's always been wingers and defenders.
Yeah.
This team's always loved moving wingers and defenders and up and down the side. It's weird. And I'm with Marcus. I'm tired of seeing them trying to move these pieces around and try to get Swiss Army men to play positions. Again, it worked with Ryan Hollingshead, which is cool, and we're happy for him, and we're happy to have had that time with him. But I mean, at this point, he's got to be the exception, right? We've seen it fail more times than we've wanted to. I just don't know why you overcomplicate this game coming up and change your formation too much.
Well, I think you got a couple holes to fill, and obviously a giant glaring hole at center back that has existed since the start of the season and is now exacerbated by injuries and red cards.
I think you're going to run your center backs that you have, and if one of them needs to come out, you're just going to slot one of your guys like Marco to the middle. I really think it'll be that simple.
Yeah. I think with 2 weeks, you signed this kid knowing that you need another center back. And you
That's his job.
You didn't send him to North Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't loan him out. So I think we all assume the same thing with Kaique. I thought that Kaique was a
project.
19-year-old from the B team in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And he slots right in and is bossing what he needs to do. I'm assuming the kid from Portugal is going to do kind of the same thing. My only issue is I wish it was him and Oz going together instead of Ibby. Right, that's my only issue.
Well, you know what? We'll see. We could be, again, we'd have no idea what the Oz injury is, right? He could, 2 weeks from now, he could be healed up. I know.
I'm hearing zero positive on that front.
Yeah,
That's
I've heard nothing positive as well, but you know the way this team is about their injury reports, right? They keep everything very close to the vest. That we can find out day of that he is healthy, right? We don't know. We just don't know, right?
Yeah,
we can speculate.
it's
we know what the rumors are. We all get our rumors in the same place. So we know what we've heard and we know what we haven't heard, but who knows, right? So ideally he is healthy, or at least he's healthy enough to come in late in the game and get a few minutes and maybe lock it up. But any final thoughts looking ahead to Kansas City on the 14th? Hubert, are you heading up to that game?
So here's my problem. But now Dallas Trinity might have a championship game that same weekend. So I'm waiting to see what happens there. If Trinity loses this next game, I will probably go.
Yeah.
If Trinity wins this next game,
that might change. I mean, it depends upon who wins on the other side too, right? They're only hosting a home game if the third place team
I may travel to the final if
okay.
So
you heard it here first.
I would rather spend my money to travel to a Trinity final or stay here for a Trinity final than go to Kansas City, frankly.
Ooh, Kansas City.
So but yeah, I think that game is there for the winning. Kansas City's not great. They do have a player or two that seems to have our number, but I don't know. I think it's there for the taking. Well,
it's really just Russell's gone, so it's what's that other kid's name?
Salawi.
There we go. That guy, he has us in his back pocket. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's incredible. But yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, I think at worst we have to outscore him, and I think we can easily outscore Kansas City.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we got 2 weeks. I think we're gonna do one more pod between now and then for sure to fill in. So
we'll be here next week.
So it should be an easy, not easy, because we're obviously going to be down to center back and some injuries. But Leggett should be back in 2 weeks, which will help the midfield. And again, the kid's going to have to. What's his name? Number 22. What's the kid's name? The center back.
Alvaro?
It's Alvaro, right? Yeah, Alvaro.
Yep. Alvaro. Okay, yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, let's put a pin in that. We'll do one right before that game for sure. But yeah, it should be
well, we should have more information about injuries, especially by then too. I'm sure.
Yes, for
we
sure.
Hope.
Yeah.
We hope. Oh yeah, that's cheering for this team, isn't
it? All right. So this is normally where we do a beer
Alvaro break. Augusto, by the way. I had to look
Alvaro
at
Augusto.
It was going to bother me.
Okay. Normally we'll do a beer break here. We'll shuffle right through this real quick, but I will say this: absolute. What do we? What is that? What is that? What the hell is that?
That's a cherry cola.
Ciole Cola.
It's a THC from community here.
Hey, so
There we go.
I wanted to shout out community. Well, that's another reason to shout out community that you just reminded me of. But shout out to them for being one of the rare Texas brewers that is actually coming out and supporting vetoing the draconian cannabis legislation that's out there right now. We won't go into that too much depth, but you can check out on community. If you go to their social media, they got a whole bunch of stuff around it right now. But I also want to shout out community for making 2 incredible tailgates happen this week, right? We've got our usual thing that we do up in Frisco every week that community is an incredible partner, and we're so appreciative of them and what they do for us. But, also they helped put together the tailgate for Dallas Trinity going on at the same time, right? So
that was awesome.
Right. They've got 2 massive events going on at the same time where they don't charge a dime for that, right? They provide beer for us in Frisco. They provide beer for Trinity supporters down there in at the Cotton Bowl, and they're just an incredible partner. I want to make sure we show them some love. So if you're down that way, stop in, grab a beer, buy a shirt, buy a sixer to go, get some food, try a nada if you don't drink. If you don't drink beer, they have great spirits. They have the THC seltzers. We just love community, and we love being a partner with them, and we hope we can keep this relationship going as well.
And I think odds are that they'll be hosting the watch party for the playoff game next Saturday.
Yeah,
I don't think it's official, but I think the odds are probably there.
Spoiler alert, Trinity made the playoffs.
I mean, if you listen to this, you probably already knew that, right? And I'm not drinking anything alcohol-wise right now or another, but I did allow the Mosaic IPA to carry me into tender slumber last night. So
nice. I put down several strawberry shortcake ales at the Trinity tailgate this weekend. So if you did not see Hubert and myself up in Frisco at the tailgate this weekend, it's because we were in Fair Park. We were at the Cotton Bowl. It was a do or die game for the Dallas Trinity, and Dallas got it done.
And we misinformed people last week, or rather I did. The tiebreaker was not goal differential, by the way. It was results against each other.
What?
Head-to-head results. Yes.
Yeah, so it was do or die. We could only have made it if we got the points there. Yeah.
And this was a fun one. 2-1 Dallas over Carolina Ascent, and Carolina's lone goal came in the stoppage time in like the 93rd. It was pretty much the last action of the match. There was a couple kick arounds after that, but it was
it made for a tense enough ending at least.
Right, came off a corner, and kind of feel bad for Maddie White not getting the clean sheet there, but I mean she held her own throughout that match, and the defense absolutely did well. And Allie Thornton comes along with her 13th goal of the season, topping the league and capping the Golden Boot race.
So good. I know it's not subware for the club, but it's cool for a player to win something. It's cool to have the inaugural season Golden Boot winner. It's so good. And Allie has such a history too in the women's game right now. She's played all over, right? But
she's local, right? She's from Arlington. She played at SMU.
For her to come back and do it, that's so beautiful. She came over, she played our drum, and actually, I've got a story to tell that it made me really happy, and I'm sure it's going to make Dennis happy. Well, Dennis was there. He experienced it. After the game, Trinity won. They were celebrating. They were shouting with the fans. We got on a megaphone, and we shouted to Amber Brooks, said, Amber, come hit the drum, come hit the drum. And I don't even know what she said because I couldn't hear anything. She said, I think she said something about, I've got to go do a thing because they always have her doing stuff after the game. And then she said, but hang on. And she hollers over at Allie, by the way, doesn't even move, just shouts, Allie, and Allie
yells
comes
across the pitch. There's music playing, there's fireworks going off.
Yeah. And Amber says, go hit the drum. And that's my captain. Love Amber. And sends Allie, Golden Boot winner, over to
frankly a little scared of her myself.
It's so good. But yeah, I mean, that's my captain. I felt respected by the
great. There's a great photo of Allie hitting the drum that we posted to Twitter this morning too. So
just the happiest smile.
Yep. Yeah, just incredible. Inaugural Golden Boot winner, chance to make. I mean, they made the playoffs now. Chance to lock it up with 2 more wins. 2 more wins, not 3, like somebody told me.
Oh no!
Made me look like an idiot on a megaphone in front of 5,800 people.
And then
why would it be 3? There's only a 4
because somebody starts a chant behind me. I have the megaphone, and somebody starts chanting 3 more games, 3 more games, and I just pick it up because this idiot's behind me.
In my defense, I was also misinformed, and I will not throw that other person.
I mean,
I'm throwing you under the bus,
but I should have thought of it before I started saying it.
I mean, it is 3 more games. They had to win that game and then 2 more.
No, it was after the game.
It was at the end of this one. This one was done.
Yeah,
I was trying to help y'all out. Sorry.
No. There's no redeeming that. But yeah, and we can't leave this game without talking about Chomi Obugagu's goal.
That was what a finish, man. That was an
incredible goal. The touch, the turn, breaking the defender's legs, and then just bearing it past the keeper. Incredible goal. Literally. You will not be able to convince me that Obugagu and Tamara are the most underrated attackers in this league.
And Allie had that 13th goal, right? The opening goal of this match. Incredible, like Ronaldo level header, right? Like just a beautiful header. But it came off,
lost her mark and rose above everyone.
Right. She got head and shoulders up above everybody, and she did not come from a running start, right? She just stepped up and jumped straight up in the air and knocked it down. But what an incredible cross in from Tamara. It was pitch perfect. It was exactly
those 3 can beat anyone. Add in Lancaster, and if we get Missimo back, and if those are our people next year, holy cow. But I saw people rocking a shirt that I think Tina, who's a supporters group member over there, made that said "Pass to Chioma" already.
That's awesome. I gotta get one of those.
It's an awesome shirt, right? But yeah, overall, just an incredible team performance. Maddie White had a good game. I think they did an incredible job controlling Carolina Ascent, who, by the way, even though they had already clinched, they had something to play for with their attacker, and they were trying to win this game. They didn't just blow it off. It was 2 good teams playing each other, and Dallas Trinity proved that they can beat any team in this league. And the parity's there, and I think you could see any team beat any team going forward. And if things work out the right way, there's a chance that Dallas Trinity could host the final at the Cotton Bowl.
And Amber Brooks picked up her 8th yellow card of the season as well. So.
That's my captain.
Wait, exactly. How could they host? They're 3rd.
They're 3rd. Yeah. So if
is it 1 play 4 and 2 plays 3?
Yeah. Yes.
Copy. Okay.
So if we beat the 2 seed and 4 beats 1, we'll be hosting the championship.
So we're playing Tampa Bay in the next round.
Yes.
Who, by the way, Tampa Bay has been our bogey team. So that's actually kind of an unfortunate playoff matchup. But like we said, this team could beat any team any given week. But yeah, they'll be going to Tampa Bay, and Carolina's playing against. Is it Lauderdale?
Yes. So you got 2 Florida teams. Carolina and then Dallas. So you've got the 3 teams if we win that are not terribly far from each other, and then Dallas.
Yeah. So if we win this game, we're either playing in Dallas or we're playing in Carolina.
Yes. So
there you go.
It'll be it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to watch.
I'm not going to lie. I can see 20,000 for that game if we host it here. So
I mean, that'd be sick.
They got 5,800 this
champion because they never get them.
Got 5,800 this week, which I mean looked like a lot in that section of the Cotton Bowl. That's where the actual open seats are. Supporter section was jam packed. We had the what's the Mavs group name?
The Mavs Maniacs.
Yeah, the Mavs Maniacs were out there with us. There was a
shout out to them shouting the whole game, like learning all our chants without even us teaching them. They just figured them out. And shout out to the drum line.
Yes,
who got set up in one spot. Said, "Hey, can we just move behind y'all?"
Yep.
They came over and moved behind us and started playing. That was awesome. And following through on every single beat.
There was a Brazilian supporters group that were there as well. They came out, they played the drums, they made
a bunch of
line. Samba line. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they all had supporter jerseys. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They look great.
Yeah.
They look great. They sounded great. They made it a lot of fun. And honestly, if you haven't watched it, if you were there and you haven't watched it on TV, go watch the Peacock broadcast back, because there's a ton of great shots of fans. They shout out the fans. You and I are on TV a couple of times. Unfortunately, my TV cracked when we showed up, but that's
now you know why I didn't rewatch the game when I got home. No.
Yeah, but it's a great time, and we are looking forward to the playoffs. Sounds like We don't know for a fact yet, but we will post as soon as we know where the watch party is. Sounds like it's going to be a community. We will confirm that once we know that for sure.
I have pretty much heard that at this point they're just making sure everything's
Doing it
good.
community.
Follow us on socials, and we will report as soon as we have that confirmed.
Yeah, and look, Dallas Trinity will also post that out. They're going to try to get the group going. I'm sure
No,
they'll have
follow
everyone
us.
upstairs.
We will share Dallas Trinity story. Follow us first. Come on.
But I will say they've had great attendance over at community. We're talking like 20 to 30 people every game. Can't imagine what the playoff game is going to be turnout wise. So I imagine it'll be an incredible atmosphere at community for that.
It's going to be fun. Looking forward to it. We got a few minutes left. Been a busy week around the sport. We've got Champions Final. We've got Conca Champions Final. We've got Club World Cup starting. Anything you guys are interested in talking about real quick before we go? One thing I will say, it's incredible how people can discount an entire league just because that team loses 5-0 in the Continental Final. And I'm sorry, Inter, you suck.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the 5-0 because it's crazy that
That
Champions
was the
League,
joke. The joke.
UEFA Champions League final was 5-0. But the other biggest game in the sport happened yesterday, which is the CONCACAF Champions Cup final, where it also ended 5-0, and it was brutal.
No.
I don't know if you watched that.
I don't know if that's the next biggest game. I thought
No, it definitely is. It definitely is.
LAFC playing into the $1 million game or the $9 million game.
That's like the highest paying game MLS teams can play now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But no, I wanted to point out that the CONCACAF Champions Cup final also ended 5-0, which is kind of interesting. I didn't really take a look at the lineup that Vancouver sent out there, but for Vancouver to get beat 5-0 if they brought their first team is pretty crazy. Cruz Azul is not a joke, though. Cruz Azul could have easily won the league.
And they brought it. They brought it.
Yeah. They easily could have won the Mexican League playoff this year. This half season or Apertura or whatever it is. I can't remember at the moment which one's which. I flip them all the time. But that's a pretty resounding...
It's almost as cool as what they do in the the Romanian league that has a weird finish like that too, where it's you win the first half of the season.
Yeah, I don't totally understand the concept. I grew up with it, so I just don't think about it. Crazy to have both those games go to 5-0. Crazy to see Vancouver lose 5-0.
One thing I did want to mention too that you brought up the LAFC Club America game. Shout out, what is it? The 3252? That's their group. It's
3252.
Yep. Did they bring the flares out? And apparently, because this was a FIFA game and not an MLS game, they're allowed to do that.
I'm happy to see it. They've been consistently trying to push that, and I'm glad they keep doing it. They've been punished for it before with Major League Soccer, and I'm glad they keep pushing it. I really am happy to see it.
So if you want to come out and smuggle some flares in for the next home match for FCDallas, just let me know.
You can't say that, Dennis.
No. Yeah, no. That's a no.
In Minecraft.
Pretty much. That's
listen, wait. Some of you have additional pockets. You know what I'm talking about.
Dennis, just resign first.
Yeah. No
prison pockets.
No
prison pockets.
No
flares in the prison pocket.
But yeah, you guys looking forward to the Club World Cup at all?
I think it's gonna be fun to watch. Seattle is in trouble. Seattle drew the worst possible draw they could possibly draw, and it's it's going to go very, very bad for them. I can see Miami leading their group because they got a cake draw pretty much, and not that I'm discounting the clubs that they're playing, but compared to what Seattle got and compared to what LA drew, Inter of course has the best. Miami has the best potential road through for an American team.
I'm waiting to see if they end up making any signings for the stupid special window that they got.
It's unconscionable that MLS is allowing this to happen. I'm sorry. You want to bring in a player for the Club World Cup? That's fine. They should not be allowed in league play.
Listen, this league loves bending the rules for their favorite teams.
This league invented Garber books.
Dennis, do you know why we have DPs?
Yes.
We called that the David Beckham rule.
Yes.
Okay.
They were going to call them DBs, but that would have been too on the
It would have
nose.
been two on the nose. It was on the nose.
It was gonna be DBs or LAG players.
Yeah, the Galaxy rule is
The
basically
Galaxy
what it's
rule. Yeah,
called.
it's I don't know.
Hey, anyway, I don't know. I've always enjoyed the Club World Cup.
I think it's fun. I think it's gonna be exciting. More
I definitely
games
think
are
it's a
good.
money grab, which is kind of annoying, which is its own thing. But like, I have always enjoyed the Club World Cup. I think it's a fun competition. I don't think most of the teams take it seriously historically. There's a handful of teams that cared about it. Barcelona was one of them. They always went hard on it. And I think my fondest memory is I think I remember Club America and Barcelona have played each other in that tournament a shocking amount of times. And they've kind of developed a fun little chippy rivalry where like one team has beat each other 4-0 and then the next one. And I think they had like a 4-4 draw one year.
Yeah.
So it's just fun to see teams that'll never play each other, even if one team might not take it seriously.
I can't wait to watch Jesus Ferreira go up against PSG.
Look, Nuhu plays for Seattle, right? I can't wait to see Nuhu murder Lamine Yamal. Wait, no, they're not in it this year. Barcelona's not in it. My bad.
No.
Who can they murder? Who's the good young striker for PSG? That's the one.
Oh, you want me to name names? I'm out of names.
PSG.
All right, who do you hate the most on Inter Milan?
All
Are
of
they
them.
in it? I don't know.
They are not in it either. It's Juventus.
Obviously, I haven't looked through all my tables. So.
No. It's last year's winners that are in this for the most
I
part.
want Nuhu to end someone's career in a game they should have never been in.
Yes, absolutely. And that is the toughest group. Hold on. Let's see what that group is real quick before I know we're running out of time here. But
No,
that-
you're good.
Well, shoot, Marcus, you got anything else while he's looking up?
Yeah, sure.
No.
Because me looking up stats and numbers while we're here is great.
I'm going to be chopping these videos up now anyway. So
Perfect.
Yeah, no, the Club World Cup was better when it was just the Continental Champions instead of now they're trying to
it was kind of more fun when it was like a nobody, like nobody cared.
Yes. Like it was just there as an additional tournament. Now they're trying to make it. It's the thing. FIFA's trying to fill in. They tried the whole World Cup every 2 years, and people are like, "Fuck no!" So now they're trying to fill the odd year with something, and it might be this.
Yeah. So I think the Club World Cup was better when it felt like another summer tournament, right?
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. So here's a Group B in the Club World Cup. We've got the Seattle Sounders, PSG, Brazil's Botafogo, and Atletico Madrid.
Oh no!
Yeah, that sounds awesome. What do you mean? What's the problem? What is the problem?
And nothing could go wrong when you got the Seattle Sounders playing against current UEFA Champions League winners.
No, that's totally fine. Totally fine.
Oh my God!
Yeah, Group D is going to be exciting too. You've got
tell us about your D.
It's all about the D. You've got LAFC, which is now in there for Club Leon. They play Chelsea. They play I'm gonna butcher this. Sportive de Tunis, for the French league, and then Flamengo of Brazil.
Honestly, that's a decent group.
That's gonna be fun.
I could see LAFC holding their own a little bit.
And yes, Inter Milan is also here. I totally glossed over this, but they are in a group with CF Monterrey. They're with the Urawa Red Dragons of Japan and Argentina's River Plate.
Honestly, it's just cool to see these big names in groups together. That's all. Like it excites me.
Yeah.
So here's the problem I have with this is that it's a pointless tournament because they're going to go play against the big boys. They're going to get their asses beat. And then they were like, well, it doesn't mean anything. Or if they win, it doesn't mean anything. So either way, what is the point of this?
Oh, right? Yeah.
PSG's not going to take this seriously because they just won the Champions League.
This is a test run for FIFA running a major tournament in the US at these stadiums, in these cities, testing out their security agencies, testing out the vendors. That's essentially what this is. This is a dry run for the World Cup.
Here's the thing. They used to have that. It used to be called
Confederations
right?
Cup.
Yep.
Yeah. That used to be the year before. Why do we invent the wheel? The Conventions, it was almost the exact same thing, right? They got invited all the people you thought was going to make it to the World Cup got invited to play.
No. It was based on who had won their
Confederation. Yeah.
Confederation. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
we're up on an hour. There's nobody left listening. It's just us at this point. We're just talking into the void.
Sickos.
There's 3 people listening at this point.
Like I said,
if you've made it this far, thank you. We appreciate you.
If you made it
we
this far,
appreciate you.
why?
Like and
Don't call your
subscribe.
mom.
I know, right?
I tell you what, like I'm gonna look for. I got a cell phone box here. I'm gonna pick 4 random numbers on this. If you find me at the next tailgate and provide me these 4 numbers, I will give you $20.
Are we doing a lottery now?
I will give you $20 out of my pocket if you listen this far and repeat these 4 numbers back to me. Okay, let's see.
Dennis, that
There we
only
go.
one person? You put a limit on it.
One person, one winner.
The
number
first person,
The
obviously.
number is 8321. 8321. If you've made it this far, you deserve $20.
Dennis is out here buying listeners.
Well, here's the problem. I'm going to cut this down. So it'll be the first section, the Trinity section, and then this. So the video will actually be shorter. So
right,
someone might be able to get that for sure.
All right, let's wrap it up real quick. Let's do a toast real quick. Who's your toast this week? Hubert, let's start with you.
Coach McDonald of Dallas Trinity. I heard somebody say a couple of days ago that every successful soccer program needs a Scotsman, whatever, a Scot in it.
Scott person.
And I love our Scot.
We've got Matomane over here.
Cheers.
Marcus.
There we go. Yeah, to be honest, it's just, let's fight off the injury bug and see where we're at. And I'm hoping one of these days we catch one of the Seattle runs where you're shit the beginning half of the season and then miracle of miracles, you're in the
At
cup.
some point, it's an injury curse, right?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, my cheers is to the injury bug. Hopefully it sits its ass down and we heal up for the rest of the year.
I'm gonna get real radio basic here. I'm gonna drink to our sponsor. Shout out to Community Beer. We love you and appreciate
I thought
you.
it was going to be the Knicks.
Yeah, Knicks in 7. Oh wait,
Knicks in 9. Let's go.
Yeah. I want to congratulate the NBA on the lowest rated NBA finals they've had in the last 30 years. You're welcome.
It's coming, baby.
There are more people watching this. They're going to watch that game.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, thanks.
At
fellas,
Dallas Guardians, Marcus hit the line.
on everything. Yeah, at Dallas Guardians on everything. Like, share, and subscribe. And shout out to Johnny Cash and the Black Keys in the background here. Y'all have a good time. Peace.
Guardians out.